Hi, it's Saturday, July 9th, 2016. Maneko 64 here, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. I'd like to talk about profiting out of chaos today. And yeah, it's a controversial subject. And I think, it needs to be, explained. And I'll start out with Sweden, the country of Sweden. And you might say, why Sweden? Well, Sweden was a neutral country during World War II, but they did a lot of trade with both sides, the Axis powers, especially Nazi Germany, and they did a lot of trade with the Allies as well. And I read here from Wikipedia, it says Sweden during World War II. So perhaps the most important aspect of Sweden's concessions to Germany during World War II was the extensive export of iron ore for use in German weapons industry, reaching 10 million tons per year. The Swedish neutral policy meant that the government could not interfere with the trade. As Germany's preparations for war became more apparent and the risk of another war became obvious, international interest in Swedish iron ore increased. So, and then in the aftermath of World War II, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom during World War II, Winston Churchill, accused Sweden of ignoring the greater moral issues and playing both sides for profit during the conflict, including its supply of steel and machine parts to Nazi Germany throughout the war. Wikipedia goes on to say, though, such claims, however, use a different definition of the word neutral from the that defined the 1907 Hague Convention, which set out the rights and duties of belligerents and neutral countries. Basically, Wikipedia is saying, if you stick to the letter of the law, the Hague Convention, actually the Swedes didn't do anything wrong, but Churchill thinks that morally they did. So I've brought up Sweden. Now I want to talk about a family that, according to Wikipedia, controlled, their sphere of influence in Sweden, in the Swedish economy, controlled a third of Swedish GDP in 1990. And Swedish GDP these days is around $600 billion a year. So basically, this family control around $200 billion, their sphere of influence. So very powerful family. And you might be wondering, is that the Rothschilds? Are they in Sweden? Or is that the Rockefellers? No, it's the Wallenberg family. And the Wallenberg family, the most famous Wallenberg is a guy called Raoul Wallenberg. And he was a hero of World War II. He was a Swedish diplomat in Budapest, Hungary, who saved quite a few Jews from deportation to Nazi concentration camps. And I think he ended up in a gulag, in a Soviet prison, and he was never seen again after World War II. And so that's Raoul Wallenberg. I think there's a movie about Raoul Wallenberg. So when most people hear of the Wallenberg family, they think of, that family did, some good work during World War II. But it's a family that nowadays control a third of Swedish GDP. So they benefited as well greatly from their trade with both sides during World War II. And there's a story I found in the Jewish Telegraphic Agency. It's jta.org, and it's a story from May 24th, 1996. And the title of this article is U.S. Documents Indicate Family of Raoul Wallenbergs Aided Nazis. So I read the article here. While Swedish diplomat Wallenberg was saving the lives of Jews in Hungary during World War II, some of his relatives were collaborating with the Nazis, according to the World Jewish Congress. While Raoul was a saint, he was performing superhero feats to save the Jews in Budapest. The U.S. government knew that the Wallenberg Bank, controlled by his uncles, was cooperating wholly with the Nazis, said Elon Steinberg, World Jewish Congress Executive Director. The World Jewish Congress reported this week that it discovered the activities of the Wallenberg-owned bank while searching recently declassified U.S. intelligence files for information concerning the whereabouts of assets of Holocaust victims that are believed to be in Swiss bank accounts. The Wallenberg documents shed light on Sweden's involvement with and collaboration with the Nazis during the war, Steinberg said. Sweden is clearly emerging as one of the places where the Nazis moved assets. And it goes on to say, according to the documents, the Enskilda Bank, which nowadays is called Skandinaviska Enskilda Bank, and it was founded by the Wallenbergs in the 19th century, and at the time it was called Stockholm's Enskilda Bank, owned by Jacob and Marcus Wallenberg, Raoul's uncles, dealt in large black market operations, money laundering, and concealing German investments in the United States. The documents also contain evidence disproving the belief in some circles that Marcus Wallenberg was on the side of the Allies. He traveled to the United States in 1940 on behalf of German interests to buy back a block of German securities held by America, according to the documents. So, and the reason I'm bringing up the Wallenberg family is that recently I watched a video of Jacob Wallenberg, who is the present head of the Wallenberg financial empire. And he was in Dresden, Germany, and he's a member of the Bilderberg steering committee. And he was confronted by some, alternative journalists. And I'll put the video above on the card. And he looked very low-key. He didn't want to talk. And they asked his name at the end, and he said Jacob. He didn't say Jacob Wallenberg. And so his family profited greatly from World War II, and he's still, very well connected. He's a member of the Bilderberg steering committee. And it's interesting that the family motto is esse non videre, which is Latin for to be and not to be seen. And it says here on Wikipedia, the Wallenbergs have a very low-key public profile, eschewing conspicuous display of wealth. So there you go. And to finish this video, I'd like to talk about my days as a futures and options broker in the city of London. And basically, I did business for institutional clients like funds, banks, not retail accounts. And some of the clients, a lot of them had one account for dealing in futures with a bank or with a big brokerage, but they also had what we call in the business give-up accounts, which basically is, let's say client XYZ has an account with JP Morgan, but they can also execute through RJ O'Brien or another broker, and then the broker they execute the trade with gives the trade up to JP Morgan. So I remember years ago, one of my colleagues or a few of my colleagues were executing trades for the Quantum Fund, George Soros. And I said, and I saw that they gave up the trades to SE Banken, the Wallenberg Bank. And I said, that's strange. Why would George Soros, American hedge fund, famous for breaking the Bank of England, why would he be dealing with why has he got accounts with a Swedish bank? At the time, SE Banken was like a small fish, so I thought. And one of my colleagues said, well, apparently the word is that when Quantum Fund started, SE Banken was one of the main backers of the Quantum Fund. I said, oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. But now, I've put two and two together. I saw that Jacob Wallenberg was at Bilderberg. I don't have to talk about Soros, what he's been doing, in the last 10, 15 years. And I've said to myself, wow, And the other thing that's interesting is that Raoul Wallenberg, who was a hero for the Wallenberg family, he did save the Nazis from Budapest. And who was from Budapest, Hungary, originally? George Soros. And there are stories that George Soros did some currency, black market currency activity in Budapest, just towards the end of World War II. And what did the Wallenberg family as well, according to this article from the Jewish Telegraphic Agency, it says, here we go. Yeah, it says, according to documents, the Enskilde Bank, owned by Jacob and Marcus Wallenberg, Raoul's uncles, dealt in large black market operations, money laundering, and concealing German investments in the United States. Maybe they're doing it also in Hungary. So, yeah, very interesting. Wallenberg family, Bilderberg, World War II, George Soros, you know, chaos and big profits. So, if you enjoyed this video and my analysis, please like, share, and subscribe. Take care. Bye.